Alright guys, England have just beaten Italy at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Italy, and it was a result in the end where England played a very good first half, but the second half I think it was a lot closer than Gareth Southgate and basically the entire England fan base, including myself, would have wanted it to be honest, because the first half was so comfortable. The first 10 minutes of the game, Italy, yeah, they had a bit of the ball and created a couple of half chances, but there wasn't much else other than that throughout the entire first half, and it was a really dominant performance from England, taking the lead through Declan Rice. Actually, I'm going to just point out the irony in Rice scoring in Italy, a country famous for its pasta. Enough of that. But yeah, it was a really dominant performance from England in the first half, and it could have been more than two, to be honest. The second coming from a penalty from Harry Kane, who now is England's all-time leading goal scorer, surpassing the record that Wayne Rooney had of 53 goals. Kane's now on 54. I mean, he had the opportunity to do it in the quarter-final at the World Cup against France, which would have been nice had he had done that. I mean, it would possibly mean that England went through to the semi-final, but, you know, it wasn't to be. But he made no mistake this time round, and Jack Grealish had an amazing opportunity as well to make it 3 before half-time and put the game beyond all doubt. But it was a shocking finish, and yeah, definitely should have scored it. But it was a brilliant performance. Italy, I just didn't think offered enough, to be honest. That there wasn't enough intensity, and I don't think that's something you expect from an Italian midfield anyway, especially when you got the likes of Jorginho in there, who is, you know, famous for being very, very good at, you know, holding on to the ball, but he's not going to be someone who, when a game is needing some, I don't know, needing a team to be more lively, he's not going to be the one who's going to step up and do that, if that makes sense. And even as good as Nicolo Barella is, and how technically gifted he is, I don't think he's going to be the one either who is going to, you know, put a big tackle in or do something that's going to, you know, give his teammates a bit of inspiration, sort of. Whereas in England's midfield, it felt as though when Jude Bellingham got in the ball and was making those forward runs, you just felt a bit more belief in that England were going to create something in the first half. I thought that there wasn't one bad England player in the first half. The defence didn't have a lot to deal with. The midfield, all three of them, I know Calvin Phillips' inclusion was questioned, but I thought in the end that Phillips had a solid game up until maybe like the hour mark, where his fitness was sort of there to be questioned. And I think in the end Southgate probably should have brought the substitution of bringing Conor Gallagher on maybe forward about 15-20 minutes, because to me it just seemed as though Phillips was really struggling once Italy were putting a bit of pressure on in the second half. And there was a big change in the second half. Italy were the dominant side. England, they got through, got forward, sorry, on a few occasions, but there wasn't any clear-cut chances really created. That got in some good positions, but nothing really created. Italy did manage to pull one back through Retegui on his international debut for Italy, I believe, since his changing nationality from Argentina, I think it was. I think he actually plays his club football in Mexico or somewhere. I've got a feeling. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it was a well taken goal, and Italy deserved it on how the second half went. England obviously had Luke Shaw sent off I actually thought Kyle Walker was going to get sent off as well, because the graphics on Channel 4 showed that Kyle Walker got booked in the round about the 55th minute. So when it shows he got booked again in the 72nd minute, it was like, well, he's already been booked. Is he not going to get sent off? Are we going to have that situation with, I think it was Josip Simjanic in 2006 for Croatia against Australia, I think. I might be wrong there, but it was definitely a Croatian player who got, I think he got sent off in the end. He got 3 yellow cards or something, but didn't get sent off after his second yellow card. But no, it turns out in the end, Channel 4 got it wrong, and the referee booked Giovanni Di Lorenzo instead. But yeah, Italy, far the better side in the second half, and the dominant midfield display from England in the first half, Rice, Bellingham, Phillips all being brilliant, it was gone in the second half. That there was just a lack of energy, to be honest, from England after half time, and it was quite bizarre, to be honest. I don't know if it was just coincidental in, they run out of steam at half time, or if it was more of a tactical thing from Southgate, but it didn't really seem to work. I mean, in the end, England held on, but it felt as though we could have made this a bit more comfortable than it ended up being. I think Luke Shaw's yellow cards, they were both fair. The first one for time wasting, there was a little bit of that going on from England in the second half. I'm not even going to lie as an England fan, but I thought when the referee initially didn't book Luke Shaw for the second, for the foul where I can't remember who the player it was who he had fouled, but it was one of them where you think, yeah, if Luke Shaw's not already on a yellow, the referee's booking him there. So I think it was the correct decision to send him off, as much as I didn't want to see it. But yeah, England managed to hold on to the end to get 3 points, and it's a brilliant start for England to the European Championship qualifying campaign for Germany 2024, given that this is probably our hardest fixture, Italy away, when you look at who England have got in their group, with the other teams being Ukraine, North Macedonia and Malta. I fully expect England to get through, but you know, this was always going to be the one where it's like, okay, if England, you know, somehow lose this game, well, not somehow, I mean, Italy aren't that bad, but you know, if England do lose this game, then maybe it just casts a small shadow of doubt over how England, you know, potentially qualify. But yeah, it's Italy so much better in the second half, especially after they made a few substitutions as well, bringing on the likes of Wilfried Gnonto, Sandro Tonali as well. They made a difference for sure. Gnonto caused England problems on multiple occasions, but the one player who really stood out for me for Italy was actually Spinazzola at left back. I remember him having a brilliant tournament at the Euros 18 months. Was it? Jesus, the Euros was nearly 2 years ago now. But yeah, he had brilliant tournaments, and I think he got injured in the quarterfinals, so in the end didn't really play the full tournament. But he was probably the best left back in the tournament, despite not playing the final 2 fixtures for Italy. So yeah, he looked like a superb player in this game. That's for sure. But in the end, England held on, and you know, it wasn't a bad defensive performance. I think for Italy's goal, Harry Maguire, I think, yeah, you've got to question him a little bit. He lost the ball, and his first instinct was that he needs to go and win it back. But I think the wiser decision would have been to just get back into position, because in the end, the ball gets played forward, and it was a brilliant reverse pass. I think it was by, I've got a feeling Pellegrini played it, and it might not have been. It could well have been Verratti, but it was a brilliant reverse ball into Retegui, but Retegui wouldn't have had the space to run into had Maguire got himself back and positioned himself well. So yeah, it's just one of them. It's Maguire does make a mistake like this every now and again. We see it less for England than we do for Manchester United. But you know, it's just how it is with Maguire, I guess, really. But there was a fair bit of time wasting from England from players like Jordan Pickford, Harry Kane, Luke Shaw, and I don't like it, to be honest, but you know, I'm not going to complain about it, because I think Italy, you know, it is a bit of a taste of their own medicine from, you know, what has happened in previous tournaments. I wouldn't say the Euros final was the worst case of it, but you know, I can think of numerous occasions over the years where Italy have done it. To be honest, so yeah, it's not something they're not used to. It might be something they're not used to receiving rather than giving, to be honest. But yeah, it was a good game to watch. Good way for England to start the Euros campaign, and considering as well that England were missing a few key names from their squad, Marcus Rashford being the main one, really, given that he's probably England's most informed player, him and Bukayo Saka since the World Cup. However, I think there was one moment which I slightly disagree with from Gareth Southgate's point of view, and that was when Luke Shaw got sent off. I think you've got to sub Bukayo Saka off before you take Phil Foden off, because it's not going to do Phil Foden any good being subbed on and subbed off again. I know it's not. He'll know that he's not being subbed off because he played badly. It's because of the red card. But still, I don't know if it's a little bit insulting, but it does come across that way a little bit, because at the end of the day, it's not going to make too much of a difference if you take Saka off instead of Foden, because England weren't getting forwards anyway. So yeah, I think it would have been a more smart decision to do that, to be honest. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.